Hey, this is Craig Ford. Welcome back. This is going to take the place of our Mayor's Minute. It's more of our meet the staff. After about 6 months that we've been in office, about 6.5 months, I just kind of want to rally the troops, and we're going to have some interviews with some of our staff, our mayor staff, of kind of the things that have been going on, things that have been accomplished, things we're still trying to accomplish, and things we need to accomplish. So, Brett, thanks for coming again. And
yes, sir.
Brett hadn't left us yet, so he's still on board. So thank goodness, yeah. We wouldn't be able to do this without Brett. So, you know, everybody knows that we're kind of, I'm still in the military, and we like our lanes, we call it per se. Brett's chief of staff, but he also has other lanes, fire being one of them, the fire department. And let's discuss the fire department to begin with. You've just done something phenomenal. We were losing EMTs, and it was a real issue, especially for the public and the safety of the community. You presented a plan to me, and it was easy for me just to say, hey, looks good to me, let's go with it. Can you explain that?
Sure. So, you know, one of the things that your staff benefits from is your vision of, or your mantra of, it's okay to identify a problem, but you better bring with it a solution.
Yes.
In conversations with Chief Reed, you know, he kind of gives me progress reports on the status of the fire department on a pretty much a weekly basis. And I noticed a pattern week after week of a conversation of, we're looking pretty low on paramedics. We're starting to get low on paramedics. It's going to be an issue very soon about paramedics. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, the conversation shifted to, okay, I understand we have a problem here. What's the solution? We scratched our head a little bit for a couple of weeks about it, back and forth on some potential solutions. And, you know, really the barrier for firefighters to become that highly level advanced certified paramedic is the time it takes. It's almost like getting an associate's degree. So you're working full time in the fire department, and then you're going to class, and you're raising a family, and whatever may be involved. So that's kind of been the barrier to people being interested.
An associate's degree is a 2-year degree, right?
2 years.
Like the way I grew up, like a junior college.
Like a junior college, okay. Yes.
So you're asking somebody to be a fireman and go to school for 2 years while they're being a fireman and raise a family and work for the city.
Right. That's kind of the situation they were under.
Can you explain to me and the public the EMT 1, 2, and 3?
Yes. So there's an EMT basic, and that's kind of a couple of semester. I think it's a 1-semester program actually, and it is actually a requirement for all firefighters. You have to obtain your EMT basic so that you can do some basic life support measures,
like CPR.
CPR. That's the big one. You know, some basic first aid.
How long does that one take to get?
I think it's about a semester, so that'd be 16 weeks or so.
And do we pay these firemen to go there? Their tuition?
We currently have not. We do pay for the tuition and the materials.
Okay.
But if they're going to class, that's usually has been on their own time, which is what we've changed.
Okay.
So then, from a basic EMT, you can become an advanced level EMT, which is another semester or so of study. Beyond that is what's a paramedic, and that's, I think, 2 or 3 semesters added on top. So what we would get is, of course, everyone would ultimately become a basic EMT because that's required to keep your job. Very few are going to the next level to become advanced because the difference in pay and all that really wasn't the same as if you were to go all the way to paramedic. And then to go to paramedic, you're basically getting, like I said, a 2-year degree. So those are the 3 levels for the city of Gadsden. We want to have, you know, our target goal is, you know, 1/3 of the frontline fire department should be paramedic certified, so that at any given time, I mean, imagine you're in a car wreck, you're pinned, or you have a allergic reaction, whatever it may be. You want those first responders to have as high level of medical training as possible when they arrive to you.
And an EMT 3 can administer certain type of medications.
Yes.
Where an EMT 2 can.
Right,
Correct?
that's right, yeah. With the EMT 2, you can kind of do a little bit more sophisticated procedures. With the paramedic, you can do just about everything up until, you know, kind of like a nurse could do.
Okay.
So you can administer medication, you can do some specific airway procedures.
Just for the people will know, I do know some of these questions, and I'm already asking I already know some of the answers. I'm asking questions too. It's just I want to act like I'm somebody in the public that doesn't know,
right?
Because I don't know a lot. I'll be honest with you, but I learned a lot from you about this fire department and Chief Reed and our fire department, who we're very fortunate to have. How many firemen do we have today?
Firemen that what we call
Or
are on the
firewomen,
truck.
firemen.
Yes, yeah. The ones that are on the truck would be right around 105, I would say.
Okay. How many are we slotted for?
We're slotted for, I want to say it's 116.
Okay, so we're still hiring, just so you'll
Yes.
know. And we did increase the pay for the drivers and some other areas. And can you tell us about the scholarship opportunities for the EMTs that you came up with?
Yeah, so talking with Chief Reed, we kind of worked it out and figured out when you go to class for an EMT, it's offered basically every third day, kind of the same way that firefighters work. They work 24 hours on, 48 hours off. They work every third day. So we decided to kind of incentivize attendance by saying, if you want to go and get advanced and paramedic certification, we'll set aside a certain number of slots every semester where you can sign up to be on the shift where classes are offered at Gadsden State. So if I decide, okay, I would like to become a paramedic, and I request and apply and am approved by the chief, then when that semester starts, I can be moved to that shift. Let's say I was on A shift and classes are going to be on the day that B shift falls. I now get moved to B shift and we move around personnel. What I can do is come to the station at 7 a.m. that I'm assigned to, report and do some initial duties, leave at 8 o'clock and be at Gadsden State's campus for class at 8:30. And I'm on my time as a firefighter, but I'm going to class to advance my training as a firefighter EMT. So we're able to have up to three individuals do that on each shift that classes are offered, so that we can get people in the pipeline to ultimately become paramedic certified, so that, as we say, when someone responds to an emergency, they're that highest level of
So
training.
the elementary part of the plan that I loved, you did all the details of the shifts and the A's and the B's and the C's and the D's, but we were having a problem with EMTs of our fire department going back to school. It was good that we were paying their tuition in books, but they were having to go at their own dime or go on their own time.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we decided to do was put them on pay while they're working, and we're sending them and they're receiving their pay, plus they're getting tuition and they're getting their books.
Right.
And then we offered 3 per shift, correct? So we
Yes.
weren't short a fire department or short fire employees.
At worst, we're down one truck.
At
in
worst,
that
we're
case.
down 1 truck in the area, but we're sending people to get certified, and we're going to have these EMT2s and EMT3s, which they'll make more money
Yes.
when they get certified as an EMT2 and EM3, and then we'll have them back out at the fire department, and then we'll just keep rotating more and more and more. So my question was, and of course anybody that runs a business or runs a city would be, hey, I don't want to pay to send these people to go get EMT certified, and then they leave us.
All right.
So you put something in there. Can you explain that?
Yes, they actually sign a contract agreeing to serve, I think it's 3 years that we said, after they obtain their paramedic certification. So they got to stay with us all the way through.
Yeah.
And then serve at least those 3 years. And if they don't, they pay back everything, the tuition, the books, the time that may have been involved from if we have to hire an overtime shift or something like that. But they do pay back.
And
the
that hadn't been a
costs.
problem. It's just something
No.
that was something, a concern of mine. But
Yep.
and since we started this plan, we're full, right?
Chief Reed told me that there's already been one person apply and one person inquire informally, and tons of positive comments from the fire department staff. So
Okay.
we're interested to see the results.
Well, good. Well, I'm excited about it, and I think this is a step in the right direction. And this is the kind of stuff that we wanted to think outside the box, and you did, and great job, Brett. I'm excited that we're implementing this program. I actually had a call from 2 other mayors from other cities when we went to a conference, and I was explaining it to them. They said, now run this by me again. And we're fortunate, I'll say this, we've talked with Dr. Murphy in Gadsden State, had them in our community.
Right.
Boy, if we didn't have a junior college in our community, that could be a problem.
Yes.
Then we'd be paying mileage and transportation. It's just right over the bridge.
Yeah, they
So,
just go across the bridge.
so it's fantastic. And then Dr. Murphy's, we've talked about coming in the upcoming budget year. We don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but some scholarship opportunities for city employees. And then we're going to offer some stuff maybe down the road for city's employees' dependents or spouses. So to do with 2-year schools. And we got a $50 million workforce development building being built over there. And there's no better time for us to be working together with our post-secondary school,
Yeah,
junior college.
and that's what, when we talk with David Hook's industrial development, that's what those employers want to hear.
Absolutely.
That the city and the college, the school system's all working together to get creative to encourage a culture of higher education training. So that's
Yeah.
the workforce pipeline they want
So
to
if
see.
you're looking to become a fireman, we're hiring. And,
That's right.
And we're actually about to build 3 new fire stations.
That's gonna be
So we
great.
purchased land in Country Club Clubview area, and we're doing the surveying work on the one in North Gadsden. We're also doing architectural drawings on the one on Knockalilla Mountain with a log cabin facade to make it look similar to the master plan that we're coming with down the road. So we're excited about that. And then we'll have all basically pretty much new fire stations, but we won't have out-of-date fire stations.
Yeah.
And that's something that hopefully helps morale and everything. But we want to thank our fire department also. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is the hot topics, the Challenger Center. They've come to, I know you've been real involved in going to some meetings, you and Miss Tina King. They came to the council yesterday, pre-council.
Yes.
And they're asking for the city to come up with some money. Can you tell us just quickly about what is the Challenger Center?
Yeah. So the Challenger Center is a program that's national that they open up these centers in communities where K-12 students can come and have experiences, and they go through missions. It's STEM designed curriculum and programs actually designed by NASA, and the whole goal is to get students hands-on with submissions and learn problem solving and team building at the same time of thinking about science and math and space, which we know is going to be a career market in the future. And so we have some local leaders who learned about this program, explored it, they've brought it to the community, they've engaged a task force of people who are interested in bringing it here. And they've really done a great job getting the word out about it, getting buy-in as far as the vision, and they've done such a great job that when you took office, that was one of the first things we jumped on. So we went, wrote letters of support for Governor Ivey. They were asking for $6 million. Went to Congressman Adderholt and connected them, and they're now in line for a $2.4 million earmark request that Congressman Adderholt has put out there, and an $8.5 million state appropriation, which we were able to help with our contacts in Montgomery. So that's exciting. It makes it more real. And, so what they've done now is come to the city and are asking for financial support to go toward the state's requiring a 10% match for them to raise outside of state money. And so they're asking the city to buy into that. And, you had offered up, believing in that vision and that future of the center, being located in Gadsden, a deal or a proposal for $50,000 a year over 5 years, which would be $250,000. In that case,
that would be so I want to just say a few things here. We would be the third largest line item appropriation that'd be given to them, federal, actually state being 1, federal 2, and then city of Gadsden third.
That's right.
So I am excited about it. I want people to know I support the Challenger project, and to you also for all the work you've done. My only concern is it's kind of been all over the board as far as in what do they need. There's some of the smartest people in our community are on this committee or research committee, I'm not sure, but trying to relocate it here. It's not guaranteed it's going to come to Gadsden. We've offered multiple sites, 2 or 3 sites that the city owned for them to locate on. I haven't had a definite no yet. It's kind of been, sometimes I feel like I'm Beetlejuice, my head's spinning trying to figure out what is needed. I know they want money, but as a city of Gadsden's mayor, I have to be careful that we don't throw money at every good idea. Right. I'm interested, and I thought it was a very fair offer of $50,000 a year for 5 years. But also the mayor of Gadsden, that I spent, almost 2 decades in the legislature. A mayor has to be responsible for people's neighborhoods, potholes, police protection, fire protection, picking up litter, picking up debris, bringing in industry and jobs, and on and on, Humane Society, everything on down the track. So also there's other groups coming behind them. It's budget time that are looking for some assistance. And since I've taken office, I was emphatic when I dove into the budget. That was something I loved doing when I was in Montgomery. I was on budget committee on an $8 billion budget, that we had to get rid of the stuff that didn't need to be in there so we could take care of our own. Right. So one thing I want to make sure is our city employees don't make enough money. Our policemen definitely don't make enough money. Neither do our fire department make enough money, our first responders. So we have to readdress the pay system for our first responders and city employees out of the gate. And then we have to take care of city services. We got old buildings we're trying to tear down. We're trying to cut grass in areas that haven't been cut grass. I want to be your mayor, and I want to be fiscally responsible and make sure we're making the right decisions. So, I'd love to give them the $10 million, but I think $50,000 a year for $250,000 over 5 years is very generous, and I hope it works out. We're excited. We want it here, and I hope our school board jumps on board with it too.
Yes.
Because it's an educated related component, STEM research, and so I'm anxious to see what the school board or the school system is going to put into it also, and I'm interested in helping them try to raise money. $250,000 from the city, and they're only needing, I think it's now $850,000.
Yes.
And I think Rainbow City or Atala has agreed to put in some money. The county agreed to put in $100,000. So, I don't want to act like we're trying to nail Jell-O to a wall. But we need a figure. I need a business plan, and I need to go forward. I haven't seen a business plan. It's kind of all over the board. I know Dr. Murphy has mentioned a potential site. If they were interested, then she would take it to the chancellor and the board of directors and go that route. There's steps that have to take place and what she does. I think it'd be a wonderful location for the place to be because it'd be right next to the $50 million workforce development building. And they go hand in hand. So, we're excited about it. We hope it comes to Gadsden. If it doesn't come to Gadsden, then I don't want to spend Gadsden's tax dollars on something going to another area. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. But I want to thank you for your work on the Challenger project, and Tina too.
Yeah, absolutely. We like you said, we jumped on it early on in the administration, and have really helped lead the way to. And the good thing is, wherever it locates, we hope it's in Gadsden. It is going to serve Gadsden students. It is going to serve students in the 7-county region. So, regardless of what happens, Gadsden City's schools students will get the experience and get the benefits. So that's exciting.
Right. Brett, thank you. I don't want to take too much time. We don't want to lose the listener, but we want to thank you for everything that you're doing, and we got some big announcements coming. So
I know.
we always say that, but thank you for joining us.